What's up, YouTube? It is your boy JB, and we are here today for the week's hottest topics, you guys. So, this is the week's hottest topics. This is going to be the hot topics for the week of July the 25th through the 30th. Wow, we're almost in August, you guys. Can't believe it, right? The year is gone by pretty fast. All right, you guys. So, before we get into the week's hottest topics here, I want to say, if you guys are watching this video, please subscribe to this channel and also go and subscribe to my planner channel. I always link it in the description bar below. With that being said, let's talk about what's hot and what's trending this week. All right, guys. So the first thing I'm talking about, I'm trying not to spend too much time on it, but I probably will. So the first thing that I want to talk about is this situation that happened with the baby at Rolling Loud, right? So if you've been living under a rock and you don't know what has happened, let me fill you in. So at Rolling Loud, the baby was performing, right? And I mean, this is not uncommon to hear people get on the microphone. You know, if you go to, when I used to go to the clubs, you hear it all the time, but they would never say stuff as outlandish as what the baby said, right? So, you know, to get the club hype, you know, your DJs would probably say something like, hey, ladies, if you got some, good, what, say A or stuff like that, right? Fellas, if you know you're going to smash tonight, say A, something like that. You know, if you got money in your pocket, let it be known. Shit like that, right? Well, the baby took it a little bit further, right? And he offended people. Now he did say, ladies, if you got that wop, put your lights in the air. That's not offensive to anybody, right? We know what he's saying. If your pussy ain't got a scent to it, let it be known. He could have left it at that, right? But no, he had to also address people of the LGBT community. He also had to address people who have HIV and AIDS, right? Because at one point he said, if you ain't got HIV or AIDS or any of them other diseases that'll kill you within 2 to 3 weeks, put your lights in there. I'm like, wow, that's insensitive as hell, right? Those diseases that'll kill you within 2 to 3 weeks. What year is this? I mean, we're in 2021. We're not in 1991, where yes, the diseases could kill you back then. But with the advances in medicine, people have lived with HIV and AIDS for years. So that was an ignorant ass statement. And then on top of that, you have to think about it. Most people who have HIV, not everyone who's contracted HIV and AIDS were reckless. There are people who are born with the disease. There are people who, are victims of, let me get my words right. There are people who are victims of assault that have it and they didn't ask for it. And then there are people who just go out and willingly just give it to people and don't tell them that they have it. So you can't, for him to make that ignorant statement, it was just like, dude, really? Why? Like, I was just sitting there listening to that. Like, I listened to it and I just didn't understand it. Then he further went deeper when he said, fellas, if you ain't outside in the parking lot sucking dick, put your lights in the air. I'm like, huh? That was very specific to pinpoint a man outside in a parking lot sucking dick. The hell does it have? And then I was thinking to myself, like, what the hell does that have to do with you? If a man is outside sucking dick, it's not you outside sucking dick, and it's not you outside getting your dick sucked by a man. So why are you caring? And then what made it even worse was when the DJ said, yeah, because a lot of you niggas is sus. Why do you care? If the man ain't hitting on you, you shouldn't really care what, like, I don't understand. That's my thing when it comes to people, and more specifically, straight men, when they always are so concerned about what gay men do in the bedroom, right? I just never understand that. Why are you so fixated, so fascinated, so stuck on what a man does with his penis with another man? I don't get it. It gives me low key Undercover vibes. Like, are you wanting to experiment? Are you curious? Like, those be the questions that come in my head when you hear people say that. And then you got people that came out in defense of him, right? Tiffany T.I. Harris came out in defense of him. Shout out to Kaya for that one. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, Tiffany, you need to worry about the court cases that you got and less about this situation, because this has absolutely nothing to do with you, right? Worry about them court cases that you got. And then I saw that Pleasure P came out in response to him as well. Pleasure P tried to say what I said a few minutes ago, but he doubled. He was defending it. He was defending it, right? Because like I said, you know when you go to the clubs or any kind of event where they're trying to hype the crowd up, they will say, you know, they'll never say anything that'll offend a group of people. That's really what happened. A group of people were offended. Never will they be in a club or a party and say, you know, they'll say, like I said, ladies, if you got some good, you know, say, you know, put your hands in the air, like put your lighters in the air, put your phone in the air, stuff like that. Fellas, if you know you're going home with one of these ladies tonight, put your hands in the air or lights in the air, whatever. And if you ain't, you know, and if you ain't in the club broke, shit like that. They'll say shit like that, but they will never say anything to the effect of offending people. Not the clubs that I've been to, right? So then the baby came out with, he got on social media and he addressed, he's like, my gay followers, they know, my gay supporters, they know I wasn't talking about them. My gay supporters are, you know, they smart. They go to hotels and do this stuff. He still, at this point, he was doubling down on what he said. I'm like, dude, it would be best if you just shut the fuck up, because you're doubling down on the ignorant shit that you said. Like you're still offending people. And then he came out with an apology, and that apology was bullshit. And he had, you know, he said he used effected instead of affected in that apology. That apology was bullshit. At that point, I'm like, so the first video you made, you doubled down on the bullshit, but I guess you saw all the backlash that you were getting from it. Then you decided to come out and apologize, but you only apologize to people who have HIV and AIDS. You still didn't address the LGBT community. It just makes me wonder, like, are you curious? And then, here's the thing that irritated me, right? Tiffany T.I. and Lil Boosie. Lil Boosie. If I ain't never saw an ignorant nigga in my life, it's Lil Boosie, right? So Lil Boosie did a live talking about Lil Nas X, talking about him getting naked on stage, and you know, talking about the kids. First of all, I haven't watched Lil Nas X new video, but I do know that the video is not intended for kids, and I believe he said that plenty of times, that video is not intended for kids. And Lil Boosie called him the F word, which I'm not gonna repeat. He called him the F word. He talking about he'll beat his ass, and I'm just thinking to myself, listen to Boosie's ignorant ass talk. I'm like, nigga, in prison, did somebody rape? Did somebody do something to you? Like, did somebody touch you? Did somebody do anything to you? That was the question I had. Did somebody do something to you in prison or in your childhood? Because you really give me the low key vibes, like you really do. Because that's my thing when it comes to men, these straight men. Why y'all so worried about it? Like, y'all fixate on penises too much. Your interest is all about penis. Like, remember with Zaya Wade, that's all Boosie kept talking about was his penis, well, her penis. That's all he kept talking about was her penis. I'm like, dude, do you want to see it or something? Like, that's not, like, why are you worried about, you're worried about the wrong things. You're worried about the wrong thing. Like, I just really get curious, low key, but like, I just get that they have some curiosity and they're afraid to explore that. Like, that's what it gives me, that they are afraid to explore their sexuality, because I think you want to, because I mean, y'all fixate in it, y'all fixate on it so much. And I think one of the issues with Lil Nas X is the fact that he, you know, he's not what the stereotype of a gay person is, right? He's not feminine. He is a little bit flamboyant, but he's not feminine. He's not, you know, he doesn't wear the long, he doesn't wear fingernails. He doesn't wear wigs. He doesn't, you know, he doesn't act what people portray, you know, what the stereotype of a gay man is. More specifically, like Maurice on Sisters. He's not like that, and I don't think they can handle that. But I just don't understand why they keep bringing him up. Like, we're talking about the baby, not Lil Nas X. Very interesting. Very interesting, right? But it's very stupid at the same time. I know people are trying to cancel the baby. I'm not a part of the cancel culture, so that's not something that I'm gonna do. I don't cancel people. If I don't want to listen to your music or support you, I'll do that. I won't say I'm canceling you. I just don't support you. Like, I'll give you that guy's an example. I didn't cancel this person. I just stopped listening to him. I don't listen to him. I don't buy anything from him. Kanye West. Kanye West. I didn't cancel Kanye. Just don't listen to Kanye. And I feel like that's what it'll be for the baby. I don't know. It it didn't offend me. I just thought it was just stupid. And I just thought it was stupid, in poor taste, and I'm just interesting. It was interesting that he would mention a man outside in the parking lot sucking dick. And it just made me wonder, like, do you want to get your dick sucked in the parking lot by a man? Do you want to suck a man's dick in the parking lot? Did you see one of your homies getting his dick sucked in the parking lot? Did you see one of your homies sucking dick in the... Like, what happened? That's the question that I have. But that's it. Let me know what you guys thought about T.I., the baby, and that ignorant ass Lil Boosie. And we'll move on. All right, you guys. Next up, let's talk about some divorce news, right? So Kelly Clarkson, right? So she filed for divorce last year from her husband Brandon Blackburn, right? Now, was he a stepson to Reba McEntire? Let me know that, because I know Reba McEntire. I think Reba was his stepmother, I believe. Because I saw a lot of people in the comment section like, well, isn't Reba his mother? We're gonna talk about that, and then we're gonna talk about what happened, and then I'll talk about the Reba situation, right? So, like I said, Kelly and her soon-to-be ex-husband, they're going through their divorce, and it actually came out this week that he was granted spousal support and child support. And he was granted spousal support in the amount of $150,000 per month, right? And he is getting $45,601 in child support. That's almost like That's kind of similar to what happened with Kevin Federline. You guys remember, he got he got custody and child support from Britney Spears, which free Britney, hashtag free Britney. We're gonna say that one. I just find it interesting to me that, my bad, you guys. I hit the button. The one time I accidentally hit this damn button, it stops the video. It stops the recording. But when I be pressing the damn thing, get nothing. So I don't even know where it cut off at. But I was talking about, Kevin Fair, Kelly. So the child support, right, like an amount of $45,601. God, I mean, you got 2 kids. What the hell do they need for $45,000 a month? And then the thing that I'm thinking about with the child support, right, is I'm pretty sure Kel's gonna have, they're probably gonna share custody with the kids, but I'm pretty positive that the kids will be with Kelly full time, right? So you know what? I guess I can't talk, right, because we see it the reverse, right? We see the reverse of it, that when men are not in the household with the mother and the child, that they have to pay child support, right? But that's different because the mother is the primary caregiver for the child. That's where I think I get confused when it comes to these celebrity cases, right? Especially when the mother is not unfit and you're not giving, sole custody to the father. Why does the father get the child support, right? Because the kids are going to be with the mother primarily. Now, I will say I do know an instance where a mother was, had to pay child support for a child. Me, my biological mother, after I was adopted, she had to pay child support for me. She had to pay child support for me, and I understood why she had to pay child support, right? Because before I was adopted by my mom, my biological mother actually never, to my knowledge, I would say to my knowledge, she may have, but I don't think so. But to my knowledge, she never. Well, actually, I know she didn't. Well, let me say that. To my knowledge, I don't know because my mom didn't tell me. But I don't believe she ever did anything for me growing up. Because when I was growing up, my mom, she just had guardianship of me. She didn't have custody. She didn't have any kind of custody of me. She had legal guardianship of me. And by the time I was 14, that's when my guardianship ran out. So that's when we had to go to court. And, either I was going to go live with my biological mother, I was going to stay with her. I chose to stay with her. So when I chose to stay with her, that's when the court said, okay, you have to pay back child support for the years that she took care. Oh, okay, maybe so. Maybe so. She had to pay back child support until I was 18 years old. And they took that out of her check. Every time she got paid, they took that child support from her. So, I mean, I can see it on that aspect, but with this aspect, I just don't necessarily see it right. So, also, so Kelly, they said, so Kelly is in renegotiations, right, with her talk show. So it's from court documents. It says that her monthly salary is 1.9 million, and conducive of both her her talk show, the Kelly Clarkson Show, which I've watched that show one time. It's not that good. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. And I love me some Kelly, but that talk show is just not for me. I watched a talk show, and this was pre-COVID, right? So pre-COVID, her talk show, it was just the weirdest thing. What episode? It was an episode where they had an animal on the show, right? So it was Wanda Sykes. Wanda Sykes was on the show. It was someone else. It was like, so each time a guest would come on, so whoever came out first, you would sit right next to Kelly. Then the next guest come out, you just move down. The next guest come out, they all sit on the same couch together. And like I said, there was an animal, and I was like, oh, this ain't for me. The one thing I will say that Kelly does with her show that I like is when she opens up. You guys know with her show she doesn't dance like Ellen did on the Ellen Show. Kelly does karaoke, and it's all over YouTube. You can find her karaoke on YouTube. So that's the one thing I will say that I like about her show is that she does karaoke to open the show. Now, let me go back to my comment a few minutes ago about the Reba situation, right? So I saw on social media, it's because I saw it on like Baller Alert of one of those, where they announced what what he's getting, the $150,000 in spousal support and the $45,601 in child support, right? So I saw a lot of people in the comments, excuse me. So a lot of people in the comments saying, but isn't Reba his mother? But even if she was his mother, that's her money, not his. And Reba ain't got to take care of that. That is a grown ass man with 2 kids. Like, just because, like if, unless, she gave him like let's see, unless he had a trust, that's the only thing. But if he doesn't have a trust from her, then her money is her money. She's not going to take care of him. Like, I didn't understand why people kept saying, isn't Reba his mother? Isn't Reba his mother? Reba ain't got nothing to do with taking care of this grown ass man. I'm just still stuck on this $45,601 in child support. Damn. What are you buying these kids? I mean, I guess the kids are accustomed to, living a certain way, so I guess I can understand that. The kids have rich parents, so I guess it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. A lot of money. But let's move on, you guys. See, there we go. Pushing the button and it ain't stopping. All right, you guys, let's get a little bit of congrats out to some people, right? So the first congrats that I want to give a congratulations to is to Michaela Cool, who was on the show. What was the name of that show again? The HBO show. I can't even think of the name of the damn show. I May Destroy You. Child. And I watched the show. So Michaela is going to be joining the cast of Black Panther 2. So congratulations to her for that one. So then let's give a big congratulations to our girl, Issa Rae, right? So I saw that, so this came out maybe Monday, right? That Issa and her husband, her now husband, they got married in the south of France. So, she showed the photos. She said she was on a photo shoot. And then, we see her bridesmaids who all look beautiful. We saw the photos of Issa and her husband. Oh my God. They look beautiful, right? I'm happy for Issa. I'm really, really, really happy for Issa. They, like I said, her and her husband, they both look amazing. With Issa and her husband, I'm wishing them nothing but tremendous amount of love, success, and happiness in their marriage. Um, I've been wondering about Issa for a while because I remember her getting engaged. I actually looked up Issa recently. I actually looked her up and looked up her fiance. I saw a picture of them. I'm like, okay, they haven't gotten married yet, huh? I love it. I love that Issa is very private about her life. She doesn't post him. She doesn't post much about him. I love that. Well, from what I've saw, from what I see, but I love how private Issa is. She's, similar to me. Like, baby, my private life is my private life. If I want to reveal things to you guys, I'll reveal it to you. But yeah, so yeah, let's give a congratulations to both Issa on her, her wedding, and to Michaela for her upcoming role in Black Panther 2. And we're gonna move on. All right, you guys. So, um, next thing I'm gonna talk about is Megan Kelly. How bad? I mean, she got read by Tiffany Cross, right? But before we get into that, I want to talk about, since this has to deal with sports, right? The reason why she got her ass read. I want to talk about Simone Biles. So Simone Biles, if you guys don't know, she has withdrew herself from some of the competitions in the Olympics. Now, I have not been keeping up with the Olympics, unfortunately. It don't have anything to do with anything, stuff that's happened previously. Actually, when the Olympics started, I was in Vegas, and we were out and about in the streets. So we were out and about in the streets having a good damn time. So I didn't think anything about it. And then when I got back home, I was like, oh, I've been places where they have the Olympics on, but I'm like, damn, I'm so like. Actually, I went to the gym the other day, and the basketball was going on. I'm like, oh shit. Like, I watch the basketball every year with the Olympics. I watch the basketball side of it. I love basketball. That is the one thing to know about me. I love basketball. Although this hat is baseball, I love me some basketball. Love basketball, right? So, suffice it to say, Simone is dropping out of some of the competitions just for mental health. I have to applaud her immensely. Have to applaud her for doing that, taking yourself into consideration, saying, I know this might hurt the team, but I got to do what's best for me. And I have nothing but respect for that. And I know she's getting some backlash from it, which I don't get it. I don't get why people feel the need to have backlash. If a person is telling you that mentally, physically, or anything, any of the leads, shout out to Robin Thede for that one. If someone is telling you mentally, physically, metaphysically, Michael Ealy, like she said it, if you guys go watch one of the sketches from a Black Lady sketch show, she said all the leads. If someone is telling you that they're not able to compete, listen to them. Stop trying to make it about other factors. Stop trying to make it about other things that it has absolutely nothing to do with. This person is literally just saying, hey, I need to take a break for myself because I feel like I'm either going to crack or I'm just not at my best 100. I'm not at 100%. Take that and be like, okay, we hear you, we love you, we respect you, and move on with your motherfucking life. But no, they don't do that. And then this goes into Miss Megan Kelly, right? So Megan Kelly decided that she had a stick up her ass and wanted to address, on Naomi Osaka, right? We all know that on Naomi Osaka, after, she was told, she told everyone she did not want to talk to the press. So she dropped from Wimbledon and all that stuff, just to take care of her mental health, which once again, I have nothing but respect for her. I'm going to continue to applaud her. But Megan Kelly got her damn feeling so badly, which I don't know what they have to do with her. Like, mind your business and mind the business that pays you. Oh, that's right. Who's paying you these days? Who's paying you? I know it's not Fox News. I mean, pretty much everything that you've done lately has been canceled. So, yeah, Megan Kelly, sit down and shut the fuck up, right? So Megan had a, like I said, Megan had a stick up her ass that whatever day she was tweeting. So she was tweeting about the fact that Naomi was on the cover of Vogue, I believe it is, and she was like, "It's so interesting that," and I'm paraphrasing by the way, "it's interesting that she took a mental health break from her job, which is tennis, but she had time to go get dressed up for these fashion magazines." Naomi came back and clapped back at her ass, right? Saying, if you are your so-called journalist, you would know that that photo shoot that I did was months prior. They held on to the photo. They held on to it until it was time for it to be released, which was now. Which anybody who knows anything about the modeling world or those photo shoots that they do, that they do those photo shoots. They don't do them like if they do like if you guys used to watch America's Next Top Model, that's how I knew that stuff. I'm like, oh, that's really interesting that they shoot those like those swimsuit shoots. They shoot those in the winter, but they release them the next summer, spring summer. Shout out to Sheree, spring summer fall. They release them then. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Megan Kelly's a goddamn idiot. An idiot if I ain't never saw one, right? So then she got offended by the fact that Naomi Osaka blocked her. Well, girl, you put your nose in something. She responded to you. She was done with you, and she blocked that ass. I don't blame her. Now, I don't know if Megan Kelly was ready for the read that she got because Miss Tiffany Cross of MSNBC, read that ass to filth. I was like, ooh. Now I can't. I'm not gonna play that read for you. I didn't even take it down. But man, Tiffany Cross had time that day. Actually, I actually saw that when I was in Vegas. I think it was last Saturday or Sunday. I remember it because I was in Vegas and I was laying. I had actually just woke up. I think it was Sunday because I think it was just before we went to the pool. It might have been before we went to the pool, right? I think so. But yeah, she had time for Megan Kelly that day, and she read her rights, and I was here for it. I really was. Like sometimes it's just better just to mind your business. If you like my grandma said, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. And she also said, if now this is my saying, if you ain't done me no nothing, I don't have nothing to say to you. Like it's just a game of mind your damn business. Mind your business. Oh, don't want to talk about this story. Okay, we'll talk about it. Let's move on, you guys. I'm gonna actually be done with hot topics. All right, you guys. So the last story that we're gonna talk about this week. Don't really want to talk about it. The more I think about it, Robert Kelly. I'm gonna try my hardest not to spend long on this one. So we all know that R. Kelly is getting ready to go to he's going to trial pretty soon. I don't know when he's going to trial, but he's going to trial for all this stuff that they have against him with the this the inappropriateness with young women. Well, it got a little bit worse, right? So this week it came out that he also allegedly, and these are all alleged. Let me say that. Let me put that out. The alleged of the allegations against him. These are alleged. So we're not saying that they're true or not. So it came out this week that he allegedly had an inappropriate relationship with a teenage boy, right? So the article that I read, it said that R. Kelly met this boy when he was about 16, 17 years old, allegedly. And he said to the boy, like, what would you do to succeed in the industry? And then it also said, allegedly, that he said, what he meant was, what would you do, basically, sexually to succeed in the industry? I'm like, ew, that is the most. I just have an issue with people who prey, allegedly for R. Kelly, but I have an issue with people in general who prey on young kids who that they are impressionable, that they want to do certain things with their lives, and hear your old creepy ass, not R. Kelly, but that come, these old people, they'll come to them and they'll be like, oh, if you do this for me, I'll do that for you. And it's just like, that is so nasty and so disgusting to me, right? Now, it's also alleged that it was not one young man, but two. So it's alleged that this young man that he asked what would he do to succeed in the industry, then introduced Robert to his friend. Damn. Allegedly. We're going to keep saying that alleged shit. Allegedly. If this is, I mean, damn. How? Like, now this is just me talking. This is me. I'm not saying anything about anybody. I just don't understand it. For someone who is, let's see, what age range do I want to say that I think is, you should, like, what age range would I say you should not talk to someone that is in their teens? Anyone that's over the age of, I feel, 21, right? Because 19, 20, you're not that far disconnected from someone, right? You're not that far disconnected. But I would say if you're 19, 20, don't talk to anyone that's below the age of 18. Stick with 18 because those are your peers, right? But anyone over the age of 21, I'm just like, what do you, like when I turned 21, I stopped dating beyond 20. I really did. Like I cut that off. I'm like, I can't date anybody that young because I'm like, the things that I can do, you can do. And so I'm like, I can go to a bar, I can have a drink. You can't even, they won't even let you in unless you got a fake ID. So at that age, that's when I said, you know what? It's either 21 or older for me at that point. We're not going back down, not going back down. So I just don't understand people who, and let's just go get out of the 20s. People who are like me now in their 30s. What do you want with someone that's in their teens and their 20s? Like the maturity level, hopefully the maturity level is not equal. Hopefully you're more mature than that child is. Because that's what I think of when I think of some, when you're 19, 18, 19, and 20, you don't think that you're a kid, but you are. You tell the world that you're grown, but you're not. You're just of legal age, but you're not grown. You're not grown until you, one, are out on your own, paying bills, taking care of yourself. If you're still living with your parents, or even if you're living on a dorm, if someone is financially supporting you, your ass ain't grown. That's just how I feel, right? So I just look at it when you, like, I don't have it, it's what people choose to do. It just makes me question, like, why can't you get someone your own age or closer to your age, especially if you go for someone that young in their early, let's not say early teens, from 18 to 20, and even let's just even say 21, because at 21 you're just old enough to drink, but you're still probably not at that maturity level. That maturity sometimes doesn't come until your late 20s, right? These are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think about everything that especially this topic. Let me know what you guys think. And that's going to wrap it up for me, you guys. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope you guys have fun, but be safe. And we do this every single week. We do this trying to do this at the same time. Same place, same channel. And I will, as always, you guys, please just stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves. Remember to wash your hands, wear a mask or not. I really hope you guys wear a mask. I really do, because I feel like we're going for a second. I feel like we're going to go for a second lockdown with this Delta variant. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Be blessed, you guys. And I'm off. Bye, guys. I'll see you guys later tonight for Love After Lockup.